This is a Onenie original podcast.
Do she have the booty?
Does she have the booty? She do. 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 As in money. Hello and welcome to another episode of She Do, the show where we talk to folks and peoples about getting that money, getting that booty, getting the
Loot.
the what else am I missing? The loot, the
chicken,
bread, getting the chicken, getting that bread, getting that cheesy bread. I'm Natalie.
Can you guys not tell I'm hungry?
And
And I'm Bria.
And today we have the beautiful Zack Marsack, also known as Aphrodite.
Hi.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, fabulous. We were talking about cheese bread right before we started, so we're looking all at this like box of cheese,
it's
like
sitting
bread.
there and you can smell it.
It smells
Ooh.
so good. See, all of my money references were about food.
About food, about cheese bread specifically. Everyone get that cheesy bread, as in money and as in the Little Caesars. And so Zack, so tell us about you, my dear. So you, I met Zack a long time ago.
Long time ago. We go
Little babies.
way back when we didn't even like know each other.
I know.
Because I went to elementary school and middle school with your little sister.
Indeed.
And I used to hang out at your house. And you used to like babysit us sometimes.
I did.
When we had to come over.
Oh, yes, it was a good time, yes. And it's so interesting, like, how everyone has just kind of grown up and changed. And it's like, wow, I hadn't seen you in so long. And the other day, recently, there's this bar in downtown Detroit called Deluxe with 2 X's, Flux with 2 X's.
Yeah, real extra.
Ooh, big mood. And it is the coolest bar ever. Everyone has to go there. It's super cool. They have like a neon room and everything. And I hadn't seen Zack in 100 years. And so I'm like wondering, like, what does Zack even look like now? I'm not really sure. And he's doing this drag show there. And oh my gosh, he comes out in this glorious wig and this like wedding gown and is singing like that. What's that? My Chemical Romance? Is that what
I Write Sins Not Tragedies.
Yeah. Who is that?
By girl, I don't even. Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco, that one. That other mopey emo band.
Yeah, the other emo band.
The
I
other
used to
emo.
love Panic at the Disco.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it was so cute. It was so good. And then Aphrodite did this beautiful impression of Miranda Priestley. Oh, my God. I wanted to die and dance to and singing and like lip syncing to Vogue. It was the cutest thing ever, and I loved it, and I was obsessed immediately. And I was like, I gotta have Zack on
Oh, she turns it out.
on this podcast. Oh my gosh, you are the most fabulous ever.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, I love it. So it's so nice to see you doing such a cool craft these days. So tell us more about that.
Years ago, like if you talk to one of my moms, she'll like recall a conversation we had years ago where she was like, "Would you ever do drag?" And I was like, "No, oh God, no. I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to sing. I don't know how to put on a wig." And then fast forward like to now, and I'm like turning it out every weekend at a show. But I don't really know how it started because I just do makeup every single day, and it kind of like progressed in like extremity. Mm-hmm. The more I watched drag and the more I went to shows. So I started out looking like real fishy, like real feminine and lovely. and then all of a sudden you got like the big eyeliner and the cut contour. And
Ooh, yes.
I was like, well, might as well just start doing drag because I'm already there.
Could cut glass with that contour,
Yes.
baby. Ooh.
It's so funny. Prior, because this is my first time meeting Aphrodite and Zack, But Natalie showed me your picture, and I was just like, yes, like I love.
She's a woman.
Yes, like I'm
yes.
like I love, and especially she showed me the video of you doing the Miranda Priestley, like The Devil Wears Prada is my movie. Like I love that movie.
Yes,
So,
classic.
and we were also talking about, because I don't know how to do my makeup. And one thing I was saying, I was like, I really want a person in drag to teach me how to do my makeup because it's so dramatic and like I love it. I just think it's like amazing because it's like I feel like with regular like makeup though it is fun, I feel like with drag you get to go outside of the box with, you know, any and everything, and it's like a whole like an art form, because it's like you got the wig, you got the makeup, the fit, like everything, and then the performance is a show in itself. Like, I just love it. So I'm just so happy to like talk to you today and like learn like your story and all of that.
We're definitely fangirling before.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
glad I have like a Metro Detroit fan club.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
If you were like into like boobs, I'd be like, woo! Like throwing my shirt up and being like, yeah! Flashing you and like pushing my boobs up on like the like tour bus, like, woo! I don't know if you're into boobs, but I was
She's gonna
like,
be that kind of white girl at a show, y'all.
oh yeah, you know it. I'd groupie so hard. Yes. Ugh.
Yeah.
Where did all these ideas come from? Like, how does one sort of plan and decide on what kind of act you're gonna do? Because there's so many there was like so many acts when we went, when my friend Sierra, who was on episode 2 of She Do recently, we both went together, and there's so many acts, and some of them were more like serious kind of drama looking kind of ones, and ones were very comedic, and some were very posh. And so how do you decide what kind of act you want to do that night?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different types of acts. Like you have campy drag, which are like that performer that came out with the big bottle of poppers, which was hilarious.
I love the Jumana one.
The Jumana Kate Ruse number was so funny. There was the Tarzan number, and then there's like you have camp, you have dance, and then you have like ballads. And I like to do all of them. It's kind of, for me, personally, drag is about being versatile. So I want to be able to come out and do like a spoken word number and talk about like the most ridiculous thing, like she's not a Christian, like that episode from Swapping Wives. Love that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Where she screams about being a Christian. Love it. I do that number. It's my favorite one. But like do that, or come out and do the dance number, like to I Write Sins Not Tragedies, but then also come out and do like something from The Greatest Showman. I don't know. For me, it's about being versatile. So if I see like a clip that I like, or if I have an outfit, it's like, okay, I've got this outfit that makes me look like a rich white woman. What's the perfect song to do to that? You know, Vogue with Miranda Priestley cut in.
Yes.
So good. I loved it. And I think we were chatting after the show the other day, and your costumes are all from a vintage supplier for a lot of them are, right?
Yes.
So tell me more about that, like how all of this like costume planning comes from, like.
So I know how to sew. Because I took classes in school and I learned from there. So some of my outfits I do make, but I don't know, I really like the authenticity of like vintage clothing, and also I don't want to sequin a gown myself.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm completely lazy.
Oh yes. Sequins.
So
oh my God,
I have
sequins.
a friend named Leah who owns Leah's Closet right here close in Royal Oak. And you know, she has an Instagram that she's always posting to, and whenever I see something good, I'm like, I'm gonna come try it on. And the good thing about vintage clothes is a lot of them have like really small waists, so when I corset, I could just
You
fit
have
right
the
up in there.
teeniest little waist. Oh my God. I can't. How did you do that? How did you get such a small waist? It's wonderful. Like with your corset, it's insane. How do you do that?
I mean, I think I have a small waist naturally, but I do corset, and I don't corset train.
Oh, I was gonna wonder if you did corset training, like if you slept in it or like stuff like that.
I like want to, but I feel like something bad would happen. Like I'm afraid to.
That's how like all the women in like Victorian area, like they're coughing up blood one day and then they're just like, whoops. Like,
I don't want to like constantly be like, I'm passing out, but I look great.
There was a picture that I saw, like when you do corset training, it like shifts your organs to like.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. When I like at the end of the night, like drag is a big illusion, y'all. You know, you're wearing like 3 rolls of duct tape holding back all your jewels. You're wearing 8 pairs of pads. You're wearing a corset, 3 bras, chicken cutlets.
Good. Yes.
And at the end of the night, when you take all that off and you take your corset off and you rip off that duct tape, you just feel everything just back into place.
Just slides
it is
back
the
down.
worst sensation.
That is crazy.
Oh my goodness. I always wonder whenever I see someone in a swimsuit, I'm just like, where'd the dick go? Where did it go? It's magic. I swear.
Like, it's so funny. My first introduction to like drag was I'm not gonna say unfortunately because I love that show, RuPaul's Drag Race. And that was
we have thoughts.
Oh yes, yeah.
But continue.
We'll ask
Okay.
on that next. Yeah,
I'm like, hold on, I'm ready for the thoughts now. But that was my first introduction to it, and like, because I've seen drag in person, like, you know, as a kid, you really don't understand the culture behind it, so you're just like kind of like what's happening. But like watching that show and like kind of seeing like what goes into drag made me respect it a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, it's literally an art form. Like, I remember it was one episode they were talking about like somebody's wig was not on point, like their makeup was terrible, and I was like, ooh, they don't even know how to sew. So like, it was just like, it was so much shade.
Yes.
But what I do what I like about the drag culture, what I do like about the drag culture is like, it's their own little world. Like, they have the lingo. I feel like the drag culture has the best lingo. The best dance moves.
It's the lingo that made all the lingo in modern culture.
Yes.
Oh,
no,
absolutely.
seriously.
You can thank drag queens for not only the lingo, but all your fashion, all your makeup. That came from us. Girl.
Yes. Even the reads. Like, reading, what? Like, I remember when I first, like, because, you know, people always throw shade or whatever, but, like, reading someone, best thing.
Okay, what is that? Reading
someone,
like,
it's like telling somebody off, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's
What
the
is-
art to it.
But it's like sly. You know what I mean?
Okay, like judging, like prejudging, or like, is that what it is, or
Yeah.
what is that? Oh, you being judgy in the corner. I see.
Like being judgy, but like being smart about
being
it.
smart judgy. Right.
Yeah, it's
right.
not. It's
Okay.
nasty, but it's like nicey, but like
Yeah.
kind of
Nicey.
nice and nasty. But it's not just flat out like say for example, someone could come in and you'll be like, ugh, her outfit is fucking ugly. Like, you know, that like you could, that's just straight up like, ugh, I don't like it. But like a read is
But reading's like, it's cute for you. Well, that's more shade, but
be like, oh, do you like my outfit for you? Like,
it's cute for you. Yeah.
yeah, it's like shady, but you're like, did you just like, you have to think about it. Like, did you
Like,
just?
Okay,
yeah, like
yeah,
you
yeah.
asked me, and I'm like, I can't think of an example, but my friends all say I'm like the shadiest, most readiest queen they know. Like, it just happens when I'm in drag.
So
The
what
alternate persona.
Yeah.
So what are your opinions about RuPaul's Drag Race?
We got an eye when we said
Okay.
RuPaul earlier.
Yeah.
He side-eyed me, and I'm just
I
like,
did.
ah.
and I do have to be careful about what I say because I am hopefully auditioning in the spring.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So if this also comes out in the spring, which it will, I don't want like
You don't want
know,
backlash.
Lord knows
Right. It's a
RuPaul's not gonna,
small-ish.
like,
It's a big world, but it's a small world.
RuPaul's
Yeah.
not gonna like watch this podcast and be like, Aphrodite, you're not coming on the show. But you know what?
If you
things
win,
happen.
it will pop up.
Things happen, y'all.
Ooh.
And I mean, winners have spoken out about the show, but I try to stay as like unopinionated about it as I can until I have the opportunity.
Right.
But
Make your own opinion of it. Yeah.
I don't agree with the show's kind of rules and remarks about trans queens.
You know, I thought
That's
about
the
the
biggest
same
thing
thing.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Can
are
you
the
explain more
rules?
about that?
So RuPaul recently had said a statement about like not wanting trans women queens on the show because they get a quote unquote, like finger quotes, unnatural advantage than the other queens because they can take hormones which feminize, you know, face and the body. You know, if they have a breast job, they won't be able to get on the show at all because that's an unnatural advantage.
Oh, okay.
I see.
And it's like
Yeah.
weird because they've had like queens who have been on the show come out as trans women
Yeah,
and
I remember
transition,
that. Yeah.
but not like compete in the show.
Yeah.
Like
They're still
transitioning.
competing. Yeah. Not as like.
Yeah,
physically.
they did it like post, not
Yeah.
during.
I guess. Yeah.
But
I
I
guess
feel
that's a hard thing to judge. I guess.
I
That
feel
makes-
like that's
yeah.
so strange because it's just like when you're in drag, you have to put those things on anyway. Like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I just think that's so weird, and I feel like for that to be a show that's like always, you know, kind of promoting the LGBTQ community, like
Yeah.
why would you leave people out?
Out of
Like,
it.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And it's like modern drag culture really started from trans women
Oh,
anyway in the
absolutely.
70s
Right.
and 80s in New York. Like it goes way back to Shakespearean times. But that was just like women aren't allowed on stage, so DRAG dressed as a girl.
Yeah.
And it kind of evolved.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I am so fucking dense.
That's
Where have I
that's what
been?
it like originally was.
Where have I been? Oh my god.
Girl,
my
read a book.
brain just like pooped its pants. I did not even realize that's what it was. I don't know. Like I don't know what I thought that it meant, but that makes sense though.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I found out. I was in high school reading. I forgot which book was it by Shakespeare, but I was just like,
Yeah, in the little margins, it'll say DRAG like in the old ones. Yeah.
Also, it's like and then you get my brain's farting again. It's what is it in kabuki theater? You have all those, and that stuff is like ancient.
Yeah,
and it's
like all kinds of drag goes way back in tons of different cultures, and it's like women have always been a part of it. Non-binary people, trans people, queer people have always been a part of it. So it's weird to say that you can't do that on the show that was like made from that.
I get it.
Interesting.
That's
But
strange.
interestingly, though, on the All Stars season that is probably going to be done airing at the point where this goes air, this podcast, they have Gia Gunn on there, who came out as a trans woman post-show.
That's right, I remember.
And transitioned.
Okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
so she's like, I'm assuming taking hormones, and I think she had a boob job. But she's gonna be on the All
Didn't
Star
Gia
show.
have a boob job while she was on the show?
Gia?
I thought so. I can't
No.
remember. I thought someone had a boob job on the show already.
No, not one that's been on the show.
Oh, interesting. Anyway,
So she's gonna be the first like transitioning
Transitioned.
trans woman on the show, I believe, because I don't think Peppermint was in season 9.
yeah.
So it'll be. It seems like a power move for her. She's gonna be like,
Good.
I'm trans on TV, but it also seems like a shady move from the show, where it's like, see, we have a trans woman on the show.
Oh, it's
So
them
I
trying
really
to like
don't know how to feel
rescue
about
their PR from.
it. Yeah.
I guess that's how a lot of not movements, but the movement can is instilled in something. It's like from pressure, outside pressure, and caving into that pressure eventually makes, even if they're not like doing it by their own choice, it still happened, and hopefully that it just now happening, that it's now commonplace after it being forced to being happening to now it's part of it, which I think is interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting from some of the comments that I think RuPaul has made historically about others in the LGBTQ community. In that, and I think that, and I noticed that a lot too with some of my other friends in the community have mentioned sort of the exclusionary, how exclusionary it can be for especially like kind of cisgendered white gay men. And I hear that a lot from them, and I always wonder, like, what is your thought on that? From that
drag is exclusionary to white?
Not drag specifically, but just sort of within the LGBT community. I have some friends that have made comments on sort of just kind of like cisgendered gay men who they look like men, they talk like men, they act like men, they claim to be men. And sort of their side-eye-ness of the rest of the community.
Oh,
like,
completely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
now
even
we're on
the ones that don't do drag, like they're just sort of like, I might be gay, but at least I'm not, such and such else. Kind of. I noticed that. What are your thoughts like on that?
I completely agree. Like, there's this weird discrimination that happens between like the masked white gay man to everyone else. Like, if you're not that, then you're nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, girl, I could not tell you about the world of the Grindr. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Please tell
the gay
me.
dating app.
Enlighten us. It's such an enigma. I feel like for others that are not part of it.
It is the worst.
I got a funny
Especially
story about Grindr.
as someone who presents very femme, it is like, it's nothing. It's either like you get people who fetishize you for being quote unquote trans, like they just wanna trans girl, they just want a chick with a dick, if I can say that.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, I can swear up on here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. We are very candid up in here.
But they just want like a chick with a dick, and they're into it, which I'm not about that fetishization, girl. I'm not gonna be the one. Or they're like, this white gay man that's like, okay, if you're not masked and fit, then
Yeah. So mask is masculine.
Mask for mask
Right.
is like the awful gay stereotype that is like crowding the queer community.
Oh, yes.
You know what I find so interesting about the LGBT community is like anybody else, especially in America, you guys fight for all of these rights, but it's just so weird that in that community is so much discrimination, like in the strangest ways. Like it's so strange to me. Like even with like like say for example like people who are transgendered and people who are gay, and then like they'll see someone like it'd be like, oh, you're like trade people. It's just like I don't know. It's just so strange to me that it's like as much as that community fights for acceptance, they don't accept each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Same thing with women too. I think in the women, it's like, I am, a cisgendered straight, mostly straight. I don't know what the hell I am, but whatever. I don't care. Like, white woman, whatever it is I am. I'm a hot dog. I'm a hot dog. But even then, like, there's still plenty of white, women who are like, well, I don't mind, it's like, well, I might be a woman and I'm not as good as a man, but at least I'm not, a black woman. At least I'm not a gay woman. At least I'm not a trans woman. It's kind of
pitting all these women agast each other.
And they just do it all to each other. And it's like, it's so strange. And it's interesting to see how that happens even in your, firsthand community. And how that goes. But yeah, Grindr is a weird place from what I understand.
Grindr is funny.
It's
like,
lawless.
The number, I changed my number 3 times this month. So the number I had before this one, like I just knew it was the final straw because they were like, I got a text message from Grindr. It was like,
are you thinking of Grindr or are you thinking of Tinder?
No, Grindr.
Girl, why you got Grindr?
No, because I guess whoever had the number before me, I guess like Grindr was still texting that number. So it was like you had 3 messages from John, and I'm like, what the fuck?
From John.
I'm like, oh my gosh. So at that point, I was like, look, if Grindr is about to be texting this number, I just need to change it. Like, but it wasn't just because Grindr had texted. It was like they were getting
you're getting all the Grindr people texting
no,
you.
not even that. It was like they're like the bill collectors were calling for that person.
Oh no, John, you better look out, boy.
I'm like, whoever
They're coming for you, John, if you're out
I'm
there.
like, whoever had this number before me, they owe people a lot of money, and
John
they've
and
been
the
ignoring
313, you best watch out, homie.
Please, ask, like, just
That's like a bunch of people.
I changed my number. I'm like, you know what? This number, it got to go. I want
gots
peace.
to go.
Yes, I'm like, I want peace. My phone literally stayed ringing with like bill collectors for whoever that person was.
That is so funny.
I wish I remembered the number because I will put them on blast. Like, pay these people.
Gay John and the 313. We're looking for you, girl.
Please pay your bills.
Play your bills.
I want that drag queen name for someone now. It's like Gay John and the 313.
Gay John and
Gay
the
John.
313. Sometimes they got the funniest name. Like my favorite girl, everyone talks about this name, Karen from Finance.
I love it.
Is a drag queen from Australia, I believe.
my God.
Good.
That
Karen
is
from
so funny.
Finance.
And
Oh
then I
my
think there's
God.
like, I forget the name, but it's some white woman name from HR.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I love it.
It's got to be like Brenda, because Brenda's always from HR.
Brenda.
Why was I just gonna say Brenda?
Brenda. Brenda. Producer Jen says Brenda from
Brenda.
HR. Brenda.
So how did you curate your drag personality? Like, how did that come about? Or what did you, and before you started it, like, where did you find inspiration from?
A lot of the inspiration comes from like other queens I've seen. So like you see somebody in like a bodysuit with jewels or a certain shoe, or they do their eyebrows a certain way, and you kind of like amalgamate all those things and turn it into like essentially what Aphrodite is. Like the way I do my lips and my contour and my nose and my eyeliner, all like I got inspiration from other queens, because that's what you do. You don't just like start and you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll just slap some makeup on my face. It's all got to come from somewhere.
Right.
So it just comes from all of them.
Isn't there, I know like some of my other friends, they always really like they're very attached to their drag mom. Like
Yeah.
their drag mothers. Like, can you elaborate kind of on what, drag mom is
Yeah.
for people?
So I don't have any drag moms or mentors technically. I do have some like older drag friends that like were friends with my mom that I've known for I guess my whole life before I even started doing drag. But drag moms and drag mentors are essentially like the people who like put you in drag for your first time. They show you the ropes. You become a part of their drag family, and it's like what a real mom would do. Like they help you tie your shoes and put in your pads and do your makeup and help you with your wig so that you can become a good performer as well. And that's, see, I don't have a drag mom, but I'm not really like interested in being a drag mom. 'Cause, I mean, I don't want regular kids, girl. So I don't even want drag
You
kids
like
because
being
that's
the
so
good,
much more
like,
difficult.
single drag woman, you know, going on like all the
I'm
trips
like
and going to like wine tasting. I see you. I see
the
you.
wine
Same.
drag auntie who like
Yes.
Aunties are the
shows
best.
up to the show.
Yes.
Is like, girl, I'll show you how to put on a wig, sure, but there's no commitment. You know
like,
what I mean?
I
After
like
I
it.
teach you this, go home.
go home to your own
Bye-bye.
mama.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of my drag friends though want me to start a drag house.
Ooh.
And induct some people in so that I
Aphrodite's
can,
House of Drag.
you know,
Ooh,
House
I
of
like
Aphrodite,
that.
I
girl.
love it.
Ooh. So
I
your
enjoy
first time
that
drag,
thoroughly.
like your first time in drag, like what was it like for you?
It was something, girl.
It was something.
I had a bad tuck, no hip pads, a flat wig.
Oh my god.
Girl, I mean the face was beat. But that was I've technically only been doing drag since October of 2017.
Oh my
Okay.
God. No
so
kidding.
it technically hasn't been that long because you know as we're
Wow.
recording this, it's only been about a year and a month
Mm-hmm.
of me fully doing drag, and I've only been performing since June. Wow. So that's
Really?
Wow,
so that's
I'm so
what, like 4 or 5
amazed by
months?
that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you had been like looking at like just watching you at Deluxe Flux the other day. Just like I thought for sure you had been doing it for like years. You just looked so good, and your performance was so on
you.
point. But you've been a performer for a long time, haven't you?
I have been. I did like want to be an actor, a thespian, since like elementary school, but then it kind of changed into like wanting to go to art school in high school, and I pursued that instead. So I don't know. Drag is nice because it's both
little bit of
it's both
everything.
performance and acting. I've
And
never
art.
been a singer, girl. I am so tone deaf. But it's like taking that
Siren.
acting that I've always like kind of had in me and mixing it with all the art and performance art that I learned how to do in college.
Okay.
Where did you go to C?
I graduated from College for Creative
Oh, I
Studies.
love it.
Yeah.
I got my
CCS, baby.
BFA in film, so
Wait, your BFA's in film? Oh my
Yes.
God, no kidding.
oh yeah, it's real
Wonderful.
fancy.
What is your favorite sort of film to make?
What
do you do?
At the end, I did a lot of video performance art.
Oh my God, I love it.
But I don't know. I'm all over the place. When I was there, I did a narrative, a drama that I loved. I did a documentary about drag queens.
Oh, good. Yay. I've always wanted one.
And it was documentaries. I think are my favorite right now because
I
they're
love
weirdly
documentaries.
hard to make.
Yeah.
Because you go in with an idea, but you can't expect anything.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what they're gonna say. I can't
Absolutely.
structure this beforehand. Whereas a narrative, you're just like, okay, we're gonna cut. This is how it's gonna go. I already know how to shoot everything. But with the documentary, you just got to slap that thing together.
I love documentaries just because like even though the content is like real and you are kind of getting it as you it's kind of like tuck and roll, here you go, like down the hill, like hold on to your bits and let's go. But like you have so much freedom, especially in post-production with like documentaries. You can edit it and just add so many cool artistic elements that you didn't think you would do before.
Yeah.
Like what's the difference between like something that wins an Oscar and what's something that you see on PBS,
Right.
and how to make it interesting and not just something that kids fall asleep to at school, like
What's the thing that they roll into the classroom on the TV, or what's the one that's on like the
Right.
film screen at a festival?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not always just like the content; it's just like how you execute that content.
Because I've been to a lot of film festivals, and it does like the quality doesn't matter. It's the content. Like you could be shooting that on like something from 1942.
Oh yeah.
And people would just
That'd
be
look
like,
cool,
work.
though.
I mean, that would
pretty
be cool.
No, that would look
that-
pretty cool. I mean, maybe
you'd
like
be,
from
you'd be
2000.
shooting that on like an iPhone 3.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, work, looked great.
Yeah, hell yeah, exactly.
Like
absolutely.
the movie Tangerine
Love
about trans women. That
that
was shot on an
movie.
iPhone.
I know.
I
when I
loved
found
that.
that out, I was like, what? Like, I love
it
that
was
movie.
so sickening.
I love that movie. And then what I like about documentaries too is that like with narrative, you kind of formulate this story to come full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with documentaries, like you're like, okay, I don't know how this is gonna end, but I have to make
exactly.
it like. Sometimes I feel
How do
like
you wrap it up in
How
a
do
way
you
that
make it
makes sense?
pungent?
yeah, how
enough?
do you how do you make it feel like it's a conclusion without making people wonder like, damn, I feel like I didn't get what I needed from it.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I love documentaries. Like lately I've been watching a lot. I watched Quincy Jones's documentary. I didn't know that he had that much of a hand in, like, of course I know that he's like a famous composer, but I didn't know that his life consisted of so much legendary shit. Like just like he I can't remember which magazine. I want to say it was The Source. I may be wrong, but like it was just so much stuff that he did, and I was just like, I didn't even know he had a hand in that. And then once it was over, like luckily he's still living, but like, you know, once it was over, it was just kind of inspiring to see someone, you know, dedicate their whole life to something and is still like, you know, old and. Not saying that he's like old, but he is older. But you know, to see that he's still like dedicated to him, no matter what. Like this, it's an amazing thing. So I don't know. I just love documentaries.
Oh, they're so great.
They're so good.
And you say you did like some performance like art video. Like how does that work? Like what have you done recently that you've just been like, oh, that's so good. I love gamey with with your videos and art and stuff.
Oh my God, I'm like blanking on all the titles of everything I've ever made.
Isn't that fun?
Right as you asked that.
Of course, that always happens.
But video performance art it's interesting. So when I went to CCS, they kind of for me it was kind of all about like doing things by myself. Because I knew what I could do. I just set up the camera. Like I love working with other people, but I don't like when other people are my cinematographers.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know. I like to feel in control of that.
Being the Maya
aspect of
Deren
it.
is a good time.
Being the Maya Deren, yes.
Everyone likes everyone got to be
Speaking
the
of Maya
Deren.
Deren, I did do a Maya Deren inspired.
Oh my God, me too.
piece.
So is every
everybody
like
ever.
artsy fartsy experimental kid ever, and I did 2 of them, and one of them is going to be in a festival actually this weekend.
Where?
It's in Pittsburgh. Oh, I'm so excited. Not in Pittsburgh. Just kidding. It's in Pennsylvania, but like not anywhere near Pittsburgh. The other side. But
Just kidding, not in Pittsburgh at all.
Nope, just
Everybody
kidding.
does a Maya Deren piece.
oh yeah, so good.
Mine
Deren
was called.
rules.
It's in black and white, of course.
Of course.
It's called Compact and Powder Puff, and I perform in it in drag technically, and it's about a woman, me, who has to confront her own reflection in a mirror and is transported into the world of her own subconscious and has to come to terms with like her own image.
You know,
Oh, I
that's
like
so
that.
wild. I did exactly kind of the same thing. I did
Shut
one that was
up.
like with mirrors. It was like, and sort of like you the idea that if you can never actually see what you look like unless it is filtered through something else. You can only
Very
look
Maya
at
Deren.
yourself through a mirror. You can look at yourself through a photo, and you can never like just step out of your own body and look at you, or you know someone else's description of you or whatever. And that was kind of like all about that. And it was all the whole thing was filmed in reflections within
Work.
mirrors. So that was a fun project. But
Yes,
Maya
mirrors
Deren
are very
loves her
Maya
mirror.
Deren.
Oh yeah, totally. So good.
do you feel like the drag community is portrayed well or accurately through media and film?
I would say not really.
Okay, why?
Because most of the film and TV you get now is like RuPaul's Drag Race, and I mean, there's not really been a decent drag movie in a while. Like, I mean, Tu Wong Fu,
So do you count
all the
Birdcage?
John Waters movies, Paris is Burning, that all came out forever ago.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So there hasn't, like, not to my knowledge, been a like full on drag movie. There's been like a couple that the like RuPaul girls have done. They've done documentaries about themselves, like winning and stuff. Great.
I've seen a few of their like campy videos that they've done, like some campy kind of type ones like that the RuPaul girls have done like for Netflix and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're usually like little shorts and like, you know, it's like so and so
Yeah.
goes to like, you know, they're like dressed up as like cowboy drag or whatever, and it's like super goofy kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah,
Or-
there's not really. You're right. There's not a lot.
There's not a lot. I mean, and then Netflix recently just came out with, oh God, what's a new animated drag show?
Yes, I didn't watch it yet,
I
but
forget the name of it, but if you go on Netflix, you'll see it. It is absolutely horrible.
it's horrible.
It is horrible.
Didn't
They're starring like a bunch of big name drag queens from TV too, like Ginger Minj, Shangela, Willem.
I love Ginger Minj.
I've actually worked with Ginger Minj a few times.
Have you really? Oh my God! Tell her that I love her, and then I want to give her a big mushy kiss on the face.
She's super sweet, but she's also a diva.
Of course.
Super drags. That's
Super
what it's called. Super
drags.
drags. Thank you, producer.
Thanks, producer Jen.
Thanks, producer Jan. That's her full name. First name producer, last name Jan.
Absolutely.
But it is absolutely horrible, terribly animated.
Oh.
The voice acting is weird.
That's so disappointing.
I know. I was.
Didn't Alyssa just do something too?
However,
Like
yes,
her dancing
okay.
show?
Her Dancing Queen though is
Yeah.
kind of sickening.
In a good way?
In a good way. Sickening is good.
Sickening.
Sickening is good.
I was like,
not like sickening like, bleh, but like
no,
sickening's drag lingo for
Sickening
like
is a
oh.
compliment.
Oh, it's like
Like
oh,
it's
that's
so good,
sick.
I want to barf.
Oh, good. Okay,
You know what
good.
I mean?
I like those kinds of barfs.
That actually Dancing Queen is pretty good. It's like the like children dancing shows. What are
It's like
those called?
Abby Lee Dance like Company or whatever, but like
it's
with
like those, but with like Alyssa Edwards.
Oh, good, Alyssa Edwards.
Which provides the drag and the drama. It's weird. They do some like weird drag number lip syncs in there sometimes. And girl, they put like season 1 RuPaul's Drag Race filter over Alyssa Edwards. She is so soft and blurred. Like, girl, you think somebody wouldn't notice that?
Oh, that she just looks a little.
Your skin looks like the cover of the Click movie. Girl, Adam Sandler would never.
Oh my gosh.
Is she kind of a little, bless Alyssa Edwards, but is she looking a little crusty now? I don't know, I guess.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she just didn't want to look aged.
Oh, I see.
Because she is a little older. She's like, I don't know, 50 or something. So I guess she didn't want to, show all the whatever. She wanted to look soft and drag queeny. Of
course.
Girl, it's a little blurry.
We see you.
We
see you.
Oh, no.
It is 2018, 2019, and we know what's happening. You think we don't own a phone, girl?
We know.
Come on.
But would you ever consider like taking your BFA in
My
film
BFA.
and drag and like making your own thing and trying to tell that story? Because a lot of people really don't know. Like, say for example, if I didn't know, like when I was interested, like I'm just a weird person. Like if I'm interested in something, I'm like, let me find the backstory on this. So I know like with drag, like you said, it started in New York and it kind of took over from there. But like, would you ever, consider doing a documentary or a film about that so people really can know?
Oh, definitely. The my final year of school, it's called Bingo Queens. It's about 3 of the cast members from 515 Royal Oaks Drag Queen Bingo, because I also bartend there.
Oh,
Do you do drag bingo there?
Not yet. Gary, what the fuck?
Gary, I don't even know who you are.
Gary, get it
but
together.
Gary, he's the owner. Girl,
Trust
I am
this
so
random
sickening.
radio voice and please pick Aphrodite as drag queen bingo. I will come.
I would love to do drag queen bingo. But I've become friends with a lot of the queens there. So my final, what I originally wanted to do fell through, that I was preparing 2 semesters for, and I had like 2 weeks to shoot this. So I spent like all of my time at 515, edited the thing in like 3 days, and ended up with this phenomenal 15-minute mini doc about these queens and like kind of the background of it. Like there's some inserts of them like telling jokes and calling numbers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But it's about the queen behind the bingo. And some of the talk gets pretty serious, because drag is also like an outlet for somebody to be themselves, and it's a lot of what the queens talked about is it's about making people laugh and forget about their day, and enjoy something and kind of forget about like whatever's happening to them, and be like, oh girl, this is sickening work.
Right. And that's so interesting. Yeah, I like that. And it's so interesting just to think about, drag queens are so good at making everybody laugh and have a good time, and then also feel, some serious sort of dramatic moments with their performances. They're so good at being, what is the word I'm looking for? Swaying, audience emotions so well. And I always wonder, like, how does that reflect on their personal lives? Like, what is a drag queen like when they're not on stage? How do they feel about everything. I don't know. It seems like obviously, doing drag and being part of the LGBT community has been, a very difficult thing for a lot of people to be a part of throughout history. We know everyone, we're pretty lucky in this day and age to, we're not done yet, but like to be, be allowed to be, express yourself and be open about it. And I always wonder how those the personalities seem to cross over a lot. Do they keep them separate? How much, because I know a lot of, historically, it sounds like a lot of drag queens, they're like, I am a man, I identify as a man over here, but then when I'm a character, I am a woman over here.
Yeah.
And I notice a lot more with like young drag queens that there's so much more overlap between, gender identities and personality identities and all that stuff. And, how do you think about that?
I mean, the stuff with gender and sexual identity with being with the younger crowd is all across the board with the LGBT community. Like, I talk to my moms and my grandparents who are lesbians, and I talk to their friends, and, I have older queer friends, and there's just such a divide in age where they understand all these identities and stuff that are quote unquote new, or like popularized or, getting media attention. So like more people know about them, and they're just like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like I've explained my identity to my mom. I've explained non-binary to her. I've explained pansexual to her. She just doesn't get it.
Right.
Because that's not what she grew up with. She grew up with, you were gay or you were lesbian or you were straight.
But you're still pretty much, if you have a vagina, you're a woman. If you have a penis, you're a man. And you can be any sexuality you want, but that's your gender is sort of, final.
They're very confused by the trans thing too. Because I'm trans non-binary. My roommate is also trans non-binary. So it's like they don't understand pronouns.
Right. What are your pronouns? I feel like I forgot to ask you completely. Can you please tell me about your pronouns a little bit here?
I use they, them out of drag, but in drag, she, her.
She, her. Okay.
Because, she's a woman.
Right. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that, because I was thinking, I think I keep saying
fine.
He, she, they. I end up shining.
She is fine all the time because, okay, I'll tell you what. When you're a drag queen, you automatically just start calling everything she, her, bitch. Like,
the girls.
I'm talking to my dad, and I'm like, she's over there, girl.
Everyone is
like,
she.
oh, my car. Oh, I drove her here. Oh, she's doing fine.
You know what my favorite thing is? When people call their wigs girls. Like my
Yes,
girlfriend.
my
I love that. Like,
I saw
let
this
me go
thing
get my
on-
girlfriend.
Girl, I call my wigs hats. I call them hair hats.
Gotta put my hat
Because
on.
I just clap them on, girl.
Good. I think I saw this thing on Facebook this morning, because I think it's like Facebook has been like banning people. Actually, this happened to me a couple weeks ago. I got banned for 3 days from Facebook for saying men are trash, because you can't say men are trash on Facebook anymore.
Yes, I saw that.
And I got banned from Facebook for like 3 days. I was like tweaking out and everything. But I saw this thing. And I was like, here are all something like alternatives you can say instead of saying
And
men
they're
are
all the
trash.
Lord of the Rings
And it's
quotes.
all Lord of the Rings quotes, and it says like the dawn of man is over.
Yes.
Like, and I think that we need to just do that. Everything is she now. There's no man. There's no he. There's no he. There's no.
There's no he, it's just she, her, girl.
Yeah, just he, she, her. Nothing else. Just there's no
Girl.
man.
Grr.
Girl.
Grr.
Grr. That's what it is. There's
So,
just, it's gone.
What would you consider? Because earlier when I asked you about your first time being in drag, you were like, my wig was flat.
Oh my
What
God,
do
my
you?
wig is
Because
so flat, bro.
I make wigs. I love wigs. This is not a wig.
This is my natural hair.
This is my natural hair. But what would you consider to be like a good wig?
I think it all depends on like the look you're going for.
Okay.
Like for my Vogue number, my wig was like it was like a blaring yellow.
Oh, I loved it.
Straight, like flat on purpose because it was supposed to be straight
Yeah.
and like sleek, right? But if I don't know. Like the thing about drag is being bigger.
Yeah, being intention, working with intention.
Working with
Yeah.
intention. Like I'm not gonna put on those like $500 3 stacked wigs. I don't have the funds for that. 2, I don't think I have the neck strength for that.
Oh wow.
Girl, gotta swing that neck. I don't think I got it. I definitely don't have the funds. I don't have the skills to make those wigs myself. But like, don't just like. It's what we call like a throw and go. Like you just take it out the bag that you got it from at Party City and you toss it on. And you go.
The ones that are really shiny and like.
You don't even tease it a little bit. Like
If the sun gets on it too bad, it might burn and melt.
exactly. Like I don't know. Like at least tease it a little bit to give it a little bit of shape because otherwise everything else, it's just weird because everything else is so big. Like you've got, bigger hips, you've got usually this isn't all drag obviously, but for myself, like ascension waist, hips, boobs, nails, big shoes, big costume. My makeup's real big. My eyelashes are huge.
Man, you have the best eyelashes. I'm obsessed with you. I want to wear eyelashes like that all the time.
Yes. But it's just so weird when you have like everything else is like on point and then you just have like an undone wig.
Yeah.
Be like, girl, you are not together.
It's the whole package. I think that like if anybody in this listening to out in podcast world, if they're like, I don't care, what does this have to do with me? Like if they take away anything, I feel like it's got to be like commitment, and bigger is better. And like if you take something, go all the way with it. I think that's like drag is all about committing to something and sticking to it.
That's what Aphrodite is all about.
All about, yeah.
Is acting and like trying to perform and put together looks with like intention. Like I'm like, all right. I recently just bought this like baby pink like very Jackie Kennedy vintage outfit, and I'm like, okay, so we go with intention. We're gonna do like a baby blue wig, a baby blue heel. We're gonna put together the colors, and I'm gonna style the wig and curl it myself and tease it because I'm not about to girl.
Oh my goodness!
I want to see it.
I'm so excited for that. Where can we find you in? This is in April, coming up in April soon.
Yes. So I do have Twitter and Instagram for my drag. I'm at Aphrodite Queen, Queen with a W. Aphrodite like Aphrodite. If you can't spell, girl, neither can I. But those are the only places that I have.
If you can't spell, go to CSS. You'll be among good company.
If you can't spell, that's what we got Google for. Google for.
Google for. Whoa.
But those are the only social media that I have for drag.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any like ongoing projects that we should know about that we can go find you at?
So it depends. Like monthly, I'll know what shows I'll be doing. I'll obviously post them more so on Instagram so that people know about them.
Okay, cool. So we can find you on Instagram and follow and get all those show updates yonder. Cool.
I do. However, I do a monthly show with my lovely drag sister Snowflake at not Deluxe Flux, at the Ghostlight in Hamtramck. At the Ghostlight in Hamtramck. It's called Gender Bender. We do a show every month. The dates for 2019 are to be announced right now. Okay. But there'll be Facebook events for those. So if you go on Facebook and you search in Gender Bender, hopefully something will show up.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun. I need to come see so many because honestly, the last time I saw drag was when I lived in Marquette, like way up in the UP. And there's a few people that are so good at it and so committed to it. And obviously the ones that are kind of keeping it like rooted down. And they're the ones that are like, they like brought drag from elsewhere to the Marquette and kind of made everyone else get into it. But man, there's some crusty looking queens up there. Like...
No, seriously.
That's a read.
You know what's
That's
so
shade.
funny?
Oh my God.
There's
some crusty ass queens in
Oh,
Marquette.
it
If you're in
You're all
Marquette,
beautiful.
this is for you.
If you're
Natalie
listening,
called
you're
you crusty.
No, you're all beautiful. It's okay.
She lying right to your
Your crust is actually just like Earth's crust where it's like got gems in it and stuff. So that's what it is.
But girl, I totally agree with you though. Like I can't even shade. Like that's how I feel around here. I feel very big fish, small pond.
So you gotta get on.
And
RuPaul's
I
Drag
feel
Race.
very like, I don't know, like not to shade all these other queens, girl, but my makeup is like levels above.
No, it really is.
It's so
Your
gorgeous.
makeup
Most
is
of the
so
local
good.
queens, I'm not like, that's not even me trying to be shady. Like I'm really not trying to be shady, but like my makeup skills are just like beyond.
You gotta start your like
They're
YouTube
good.
channel and do some tutorials or something. I don't know.
And I don't know, like my performances generally are, more engaged.
They are
and better.
absolutely, and like they are absolutely. Like from what I've seen, I've only seen you perform I think twice, like 2 songs at one place.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking that you were obviously so much cut above the rest for and just now hearing that you've been doing it for such a short time, and
Yeah.
I love that, and I do love that there are people out there that even though they are not the best at it, they don't have the their wigs are looking a little party city, and they're
But they're going out and doing the dang
it.
thing.
Yeah, they're trying it. They're doing something
it.
new, and they're learning, and they want to get better, or even if they don't want to get better, it's a good hobby that they do once in a blue moon. And,
Oh yeah.
And I think that's interesting. Also, I also think it's super interesting, even though I not to get into something totally new, but like bio queens, like when women are doing drag, and what is like people that are women, like not just trans women, but like women that are obviously very cisgendered straight
Yes.
women. What do you think about that?
I think so. I have some cis women drag queen friends, and I think for me, if you're gonna be a cis woman doing drag, you should turn it out, especially because your life is a lot easier when it comes to drag. You got to do half the amount of work, so you better turn it out to the extra level. But 2, I think the most important thing for a cis woman to do when coming into that space is to respect where they are.
Absolutely.
Like, know that this is like a queer drag space. Like know like the community and respect the art.
Absolutely. On that note too, just what for people that out there who have, they've either been to lots of drag shows or have not been to one yet, what is your perspective or some advice that you might give to someone new entering the community, or someone maybe that's been a part of the, kind of been watching from, their own little court for a while, to be a part of it and participate without and respecting it and not stepping on anyone's toes? What would you say that people should be doing that maybe aren't?
I think if somebody wanted to just do drag, that they should just start doing it, because that's the only way that you can evolve from there. Is like you look like a booger at the beginning, and then you look like me one day.
Yes, I love it.
Humble slice of humble pie for Aphrodite.
but for the people who just want to like go to the show and have a good time, I think it's all about respecting the performer, and it's all about kind of understanding the space. So when you've never been to a drag show before, it can kind of show, because you're like shy, you don't know what to do. But like what drag queens like to encourage is, we encourage a lot of yassing, a lot of working, you know what I mean?
Snaps.
Of course, and how drag queens make their money, how she do it, is we get paid generally in tips. So when you go to the drag show, it's kind of expected as an audience member, if you like what you see, you put $1 in your hand and you give it to the drag queen.
Bring a couple singles with you next
Bring a
time you
couple
go.
singles, or a 5 or a 10, girl. We do like bigger bills.
Give him one of those big Benjis.
Yes, ma'am.
Give those girls those Benjis.
All the coins.
Yes.
But that's how we do it, because you know what it does is it tells the queen that you're enjoying the show, and that means that they can turn it up even more. If lots of people are tipping, it keeps it all going. If nobody's tipping, it's harder to keep a number active.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because then it's like, oh, they're not living for it,
It's
so
no
why am I
motivation.
gonna like turn it
Keep
out?
them engaged, and when they know that you're engaging them,
Right.
let it show. You don't have to be. It's not like going to the DSO and you got to sit kind of quiet up in your seat. You gotta
like it's
turn
always
it out.
awkward. I've done a couple shows where audiences just don't tip for some
weird.
reason. It's the location or the fee to get in was really big because it was a charity event. So they paid like $20 to get in.
Oh yeah.
So people aren't gonna tip when they do that. And it's just awkward because you're like dancing and you're twirling and there's nobody reaching out, and you're like, okay, great, I'm not getting paid for this gig.
No.
I mean, it's for charity.
Right.
So everybody has to do their spot, but it's also like I have to pay to be able to do this.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like if you like watching
expensive
drag,
being a queen.
Oh, it's so expensive being a queen. I take all of my tips that I make and I put it right back into it.
First of all, the makeup within itself is a lot. Makeup ain't cheap. Like it's,
no, ma'am.
Makeup is expensive, and then like your wardrobe and all of that stuff, it's like literally an investment. Like let me just go ahead and get all this stuff. You gotta stay updated. You can't be out here being no old dusty musty queen, because everybody will know.
You gotta take a shot. We said that last time.
You gotta take a shot
Every time.
So the thing is, like, I have my saying is musty.
Yes, musty.
Yes, I call people musty. Like, not saying that you stink, but it's like something about you ain't right. Like, you're a little funky
Musty.
in some way. Yes.
Musty.
I wish you guys could have seen it.
There's a special face that goes with it when your like lip goes up into your nose. You're like,
Yeah, you gotta turn the
musty.
corners of your lips down, like, musty.
I think of like, it's like, you know what the picture is? I picture the mom from Everybody Hates Chris. She goes, like,
Yeah, that's
Like,
how it
that's
goes.
what
Like,
it is.
it's the whole thing. It's the attitude behind the musty. Like,
Yep. And you have to take a shot every time Bria says musty. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Shot
There's a
number
lot
one.
of shots in there just now. So you best be a little bit tipsy. there.
Re-listen to the podcast. Let's go.
right.
Not ready. Woohoo.
So I have one last thing. So what shows, what are some good drag shows? Like I really want to go to one because I feel like, first of all, I just love drag. Like I love the culture. Like it's just, it's fascinating. It's like literally a walking piece of art and a whole, like an entire show. Like, so what are some good drag shows that you recommend?
So there's surprisingly not a lot of like Metro Detroit local stuff.
Get on it.
There's okay, so
Aphrodite,
there's
we need you to start some stuff
I know,
up
girl.
here, please.
Trust me, I'm in the works.
Okay.
She's in the
Produced by
works, girl.
Onenie.
All right.
Produced
it.
by me. So there's obviously
Yes.
Genderbender that I do every month.
Okay.
In Hamtramck. And then there's Nightlife that we're working on getting back at Deluxe Flux monthly or bi-monthly or something like that.
Okay.
There's, of course, Drag Queen Bingo that we do at 515 Royal Oak. And then there's all of the shows out in Ann Arbor. That's where a lot of them tend to be.
Okay.
Usually a couple Thursdays a month at Live Ann Arbor. They'll have Candy Bar. Usually they have a lip service, which is a charity drag show, and a lip sync battle. So the winner wins a prize, and the same amount of money is donated to the charity of their choice. And they also do an open
fantastic.
stage drag show, I believe the first Thursday of every month. So like, you know, you just like email and you go, I want to do drag, and then you hop on stage.
Oh, that's so fun.
Okay.
So like anybody that's new trying to get into break in and drag, you know, to
That's-
get their
that's a really
toes
good choice,
wet.
yeah.
Okay. So anyone out there listening who wants to break into the biz,
Yes, ma'am.
that's definitely where you should.
Then
should
of
go.
course there's Necto Pride. They're the place that brings in all of the RuPaul girls
Okay.
and like all of the stars. As we're recording this in November, Aquaria, the winner of season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race, is going to be there today.
Wow.
Literally tonight, actually.
Ooh.
Are you going?
No, I'm working.
Aw.
Boo. But I saw her at one of the tours that the RuPaul girls did at Work the World down in Detroit. I already saw her. She was sickening. I don't need to see her again. You know, that's about it. And then, yeah, that's really it for drag. A lot of, if you're really into drag and you live out of state, if you're this, I've been to Chicago. I've done some shows in Chicago. They have drag every single day of the week. Every single day of the week, there is some kind of show, some kind of theme. It's fantastic. It's
I
amazing.
gotta go.
We
Yeah.
need like a full-time like drag bar here, like every night, all
Yes.
day, every day. Like you know what I really want? I want like a drag like cigarette girl who like comes around with like little shot glass, like those little like one shot like things.
Little tubes that you just go.
The little
"Thanks."
tubes, yeah, and looking
Shot
like a
girl.
1950s like shot girl. Oh my god, that's what I want. Someone
Yes.
please get on it.
I just love drag
ready.
because like I'm an extra being. And it's like
yeah.
with drag, like girl, be extra, be extra as
Yes.
fuck.
Indeed,
like
indeed.
I love it. So
All right. On that note, thank you so much for joining us today, Zack/Aphrodite.
Thank you so much for
Ms.
having me.
Are you Mrs. or Ms.?
Just Aphrodite, but everyone goes Ms.
Ms. Aphrodite.
Miss Aphrodite if you're nasty.
oh, okay.
Ms. Aphrodite, the nastiest queen in the Metro Detroit, Michigan, Midwest region of the world.
Girl, the whole country.
The whole country. Okay,
That's
yeah,
it.
there we go. She's the
We're taking on the world.
She's the
Sickening.
most sick. I was gonna say she's the sickest queen in the world. All right. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
What your treat. We love you. So I'm Natalie,
And I am Bria.
and this is She Do. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for our next episode coming at you soon.
Bye-bye.
That was a Onenie original podcast.